In this video, I'm going to tell you how to get your first clients so that you can start to grow your own business that is going to be free of location. You're going to be able to move around, set your own hours, and be your own boss. So welcome to Business Built for Life. This channel is dedicated to helping you build a business that supports your life rather than living to support your work. My name is Brandon, and let's jump into this video. So a lot of times when you're starting out in business, it's kind of like a chicken or an egg type thing. Where do you get your first clients from, and how do you get paid for the work that you're doing? And a lot of times if you go to somebody and say, hey, I can do advertising for you, or I can do graphic design for you, or a bunch of other things that you could do as a remote business. If you don't have a client list built up and you don't have referrals or testimonials or case studies, then it's difficult to kind of get that first leg up to get your foot in the door. And so getting clients is really, really important. You need to get paid as quickly as possible when you're starting your own business, especially if you're starting out. You need to start generating income. And so how do you do that? Let's talk about that, a few things that you can do. So there's, I think in general, two things. Actually, there's probably about three pretty simple ways that you can go and create new clients. I think the first one would be to offer to work for free. And this is my least favorite option. I have done this personally, and when you're just starting out, saying to a business owner, hey, I am trying to learn how to do ads. I will work for free to perform this service for your business. All you have to do is spend an ad spend. That sounds like it's low risk to the person that's making the offer, but to the person that's accepting that offer, it's actually high risk because they have their time. Usually if they're a successful business person, they don't have time. And so they need somebody just to handle something and do it well for them. They're not hoping to have somebody figure it out along the way, waste a lot of time, waste a lot of money, effort, and energy, and all that stuff. And so the hassle involved with that, along with the whole process of figuring out, is this going to work, is not worth it to them usually. So doing free offers, I think, is not the best solution because it doesn't position you as an expert. It doesn't allow you to create a situation where you have a value proposition that's going to be like, well, I was doing it for free, but now I want to start getting paid. They're going to say, well, they're not going to typically value the work that you're doing. And so I think it's really important that you value the work that you're doing to some extent and get people to put some skin in the game. I've also found too that when you do things for free, it's a very low risk on the person who's taking the next step with you to do, and so they don't typically follow through. And so even if you do great work, they'll be like, well, that's kind of great, I don't really care. So as harsh as that sounds, that's the reality of it. And so it makes it so that you feel like you're fighting against your worth. You're just not going to be worth it. It also makes it so that it's uncommitted. It also kind of gives you an easy out too. I've done free work for people before that I know didn't have the budget. They asked if I could do something for them, and when I typically do free work, it always feels like, well, if it didn't work out, I guess they can bill me for it. Right? They're not getting charged for it. And as weird as that sounds, when somebody pays me, all of a sudden like a switch is flipped, and I have to do great work for these people, and I have to perform because they are valuing my time, so I need to value this relationship. And that sounds pretty weird, but I've honestly thought about it, and I know that's how I feel. So it helps me to say, if you want to do work with me, then we need to value each other's time. I need to value your time, you need to value my time, and we need to come up to something that works for both of us. And so that means me getting paid and you getting the results that you're looking for. So that to say, if you don't have any other options and you know somebody, let's say your father-in-law has a business, and you say, hey, I tell you what, I'll run ads for you, or I'll do graphic design work for you, or I'll do this if you promise to give me a case study. Here's what I need you to say, and here's what I need it to look like, and then I also need you to give me referrals. And so that might be the only instance where I would potentially do work if I was something new. I knew this person had a huge network of potential referrals, and those kind of people. You have to, I think, approach people from that direction rather than being approached from the other direction. So what I mean by that is if somebody says, you know what, if you get me this job, you're going to get so many other referrals. It's going to be incredible for your business. It's such a great opportunity for exposure for you. Every time across the board somebody has said that to me, they have been talking way more than they actually had. And so they seem to always talk a big game about referrals and things like that, and this is going to be a game changer for you, and it just fizzles out and doesn't actually do anything. So I think that's something that's really, really important to consider. So free is not my favorite, and I think that you should try to avoid that. The second thing that I really like is doing a trial offer. And so with the trial offer, it makes you feel confident in the work that you're doing. It makes you understand if X, Y, and Z happens, we're going to then move forward together, and this will be the arrangement. But it cuts down the risk in their opinion. And so trial offers are fantastic. Trial offers have been around forever. If you think about just risk reversal in general, the free trial or free refund when you purchase something, if you knew that you could buy something and if it didn't work out, you could then get a full refund, that's really, really helpful. And so I like to do trial offers that are no more than 2 weeks. And I find too that I still do trial offers even though I have a ton of success for clients, and I have a huge track record and a huge amount of case studies. And the reason that I do trial offers is because it gets people to make a decision. And once you get on board with their team, so I do digital marketing and I have a digital agency, but once we get on the same team, it's now not a resistance kind of relationship. So what I mean by that is if I'm trying to close a new agency client or something, and they said, hey, I want this work, and oh, yep, this looks great. I'm just trying to figure out what time frame I want to be doing, because I'm trying to get this, and this done. And so typically I'll say something like, if I'm very close to closing, but maybe they're just trying to wait for timing, or maybe they're just, there could be a million things. And I like to always qualify those things before we make pitches to clients. But I'll say, it sounds like we're really close here. I'll tell you what, if you were able to make a decision today, would you be open to doing a 2-week trial period? And then we could get started. We could get all the accounts access ready. We could get everything going so that we could do X, Y, and Z. And then we'd be 2 weeks ahead. You'd have a good feeling of how our relationship worked, and we'd be able to start meeting the goals that you have set up, which are X, Y, and Z, and I reference those specifically. So I'm saying to them, like, hey, let me get into this. So with digital marketing, by the way, we have ad access accounts, we have analytics to set up, we have all of these things to do that are kind of administrative, and they take a little while anyways. And so by saying, hey, let's get a trial started, we'll get the analytics set up, we'll start measuring and tracking everything, all of these things, it helps us to get into their accounts, which is the next step in kind of the relationship to get the commitment done. So giving them that and then starting billing 2 weeks after we get access and we get started, it's really not, it's not a bad situation for me. I like to have that relationship opened up and begin actually doing the work. And so structuring a trial might look like, it might look different for you, right? And if you're a graphic designer, for example, I would say that you're giving a deliverable and you're putting a considerable amount of time and effort and energy into producing a graphic or doing a branding project or things like that, where you probably wouldn't want to do a trial offer unless you had a larger kind of scope of work or something. But for creative agencies that are doing ads or copywriting or things that are on an ongoing basis, which is how I like to do work. I don't like to do work with just one job at a time. I like to have recurring payments. Doing the trial offer really, really helps. So a few things that are, I think, really important if you're going to be offering trial offers to your clients is, number one, make sure that you set expectations. This needs to be for everything. So we have the trial period. What happens at the trial period? How does payment happen at the trial period? When are meetings going to be set? What does success actually look like? And you have the client tell you specifically and write it down word for word what success is. You have key metrics that you're going to be measuring and how often they're going to be measuring that. If you set expectations up front of exactly what's going to happen, what everything is going to look like, you're going to get people on board. And then once you have the results that they're looking for, if you say, if they say, well, you know what, I don't think it's really working. And you say, well, what you told me was, if we have this many, here's the metric that we're going to talk about, and this at this price, then you would be happy. And we actually exceeded that. So I'm confused because the goalpost has moved here. And so that way you're able to really understand what is happening what success looks like based on the client's definition of success and not your own definition. So that's, I think, the second option for getting new clients. The third option that I think is probably pretty easy and a great way to start is to go out and find somebody that has an agency already and that has more work than they know what to do with. So I get all the time people asking me for work, and I don't necessarily want to take on work all the time because I just am busy right now as it is, as busy as I would like to be. And so I would like to refer those types of things out. So I have people that I can refer those to and still make a cut of the deal, and then have somebody who's really, really capable handling it. And so if you're not busy yet and if you don't have work, go to find an agency that does have work and do contract work for them. So find somebody that has deal flow that you're looking to do, and then say, hey, here's my skill set. I can do X, Y, and Z. I'm competent and I excel at these types of jobs. If you have anybody, I'd be happy to pay you a referral commission if you have more work than you can handle right now. And so that's a low risk thing. Now with that, you have to really instill trust in these people. So don't expect to do it one time and then just show up, get leads, and then go away. You need to build relationships with these people, because if they're going to refer somebody, they're going to put their name on it. You could also do it in a way that makes it so that it looks like it's their work product, and they're just getting you to be the executor of their strategies as well. So there's definitely a few ways that you could structure that, but I think that that's an effective way also for getting new clients. There's tons of Facebook groups out there for agencies and people there that have clients and that are getting work. And so if you start posting in there and start sharing things that you're doing, start sharing stuff that you're working on, and say, hey, I'm looking for referrals. If anybody has extra work or is looking for more contractors, let me know, and that helps you to get results as well. Ultimately, you need to start getting work, though, and you need to start getting paid for the work that you're doing. It's really important that you get paid as quickly as possible. You need to feel like what you're doing is providing value, and the way to actually do that is to get paid. So make sure that if you're doing free work, it has to be rare circumstances, and try to structure things as trial offers if you're worried about value propositions and actually providing enough value to charge. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions or you need help with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.